What's going on, everyone? It's my back again, and I'm here with the two lads from Sweet and Sour Soccer. It is James and Scott, of course. I am the rose in between two really ugly thorns today. Although, to be fair to them, they did manage to sort the green screen out and have a wicked Everton badge behind.
Where's yours?
I'm not a true blue, unfortunately, so I don't do that. So, you know, it's when you hit 10K, the effort goes.
You don't need them. You don't need them.
Fuck it. Before we even get into this video, make sure you pause this video right now and go and subscribe to Sweet and Sour Soccer. I think they're on about 780 subs. Is that about right?
750.
Yeah.
Hopefully after this we will be.
So let's get them up to 800, guys. 800 subs today for them, please, and then we can crack on to 1,000 over the next couple of weeks. We're going to analyse Everton's transfer window, essentially, and these guys are going to pick holes in the Everton team, hopefully, and tell us, Everton fans, why we're so deluded at the fact that we're going to win the league. Hopefully these guys are going to bring us back down to earth, almost Arsenal style, because they're going to end up in the Championship, the stupid twats. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's do it. I said when we did our Rafa reaction to getting appointed. But when did we do that, Scott? Like back in, was it June or July?
Yeah, probably.
Months ago. I said Everton would do well. I predicted you to finish 7th. And from your business, I can't see that changing, really. I mean, I know FFP's killed you and Rafa's the perfect manager, but you've done, I think you spent £2 million. Is that right?
Yeah, it's 1.7 million, Damari Gray being the only person we've spent any money on.
But it's shrewd. It's shrewd. You've got people like Bernard off the books. Yank Balassi is off the books. Theo Walcott is off the books. So, do you know what? FFP is killing you just like it's killing Wolves. We know that. But it could have been a lot worse. You've held on to Richarlison and other players.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that, I'll tell you what, I love this interview style. I'll tell you what, I'm going to use you for another video. I'll speak to you after this. I think with Everton, I think getting a wage bill down to be massive. You two know Everton have invested heavily over the last 5 years. They've spent, I think it's something like £550 million since Mashiri walked in. It's just not sustainable for a club that's not in the Champions League. Everton aimed for that 5 years ago and fell short. If anything, they've gone backwards. This summer was a little bit of a reset for Everton. Try and get rid of some of these players that we wasted money on. Sigurdsson can go next season. A lot of the players that, are on big money now are also going to go next season. So very much this was the start of a rebuilding process for Everton. And then that is why Rafa Benitez, I think, got the job, because he is shrewd. He can work under tight restraints. But as you say, and I know you guys are going to go into, we've made some good additions to the team with players going out that fundamentally, if you think Bernard was on 150 grand a week plus any goal bonuses, appearance bonuses, well, we probably are spending, say, 180 a week on 4 players now. So it's been much, much better from Everton. It's been a little bit refreshing, and thank God, really, because we were going to end up spending far too much money over the coming years if we carried on like that. FFP would have bummed us categorically, like proper,
like we are now.
Yeah, pretty much like, I mean, you guys are going to be a lot happier than Wolves fans, put it that way. We're on a massive meltdown, and rightfully so. But to be fair, though, you've done well selling. Like, okay, as you say, you got some players off the books, but the Keane one was the standout for me. 7 million loan fee, and then obligation to sell him at, what was it? It's 28 million, was it? Pretty much what you brought him for.
Yeah, so people seem also to forget that there was a sell-on clause with Moise Kean as well. So if Everton sold him to PSG, we'd have had to pay them 15%. So if we'd have got 30 million from PSG, we were going to have to give Juve, 5 million of that. Whereas how it's worked is, we've got a loan fee from PSG last year of £5 million. We've been able to essentially, obviously last summer we did spend money, but Moyes Keane has not cost us a penny, really, apart from a season where we didn't really break into the Everton team and he cost us 40 grand a week. It's not the end of the world. It's been good business getting rid of him, and I wanted it to work. I actually thought during some of the games he'd played this season that it could have worked, but it hasn't.
Well, when you look at Chelsea, who paid $5 million for Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid, and you've got 7 for Moyes Keane, who's done fuck all for years. I know which player I would rather have. So it's just great business. And again, we did a video. I think it was our first or second video with you where we looked at Marcel Brands as a package of Everton as to what to expect. This is what you're going to see. You couple Marcel Brands with the new stadium, the owners, and Raf. For me, I've always said a good manager is worth 5 key players added to a team, if not more, depending on the manager. I think Rafa's the glue for your squad. And next season, maybe the season after, maybe not January coming up, but the January after. Imagine if you gave Rafa half of what you gave other dodgy managers. Oh my God, he could really get you guys aiming for things that you thought were long gone.
I think you mentioned Marcel Brands there. A lot of people at Everton aren't happy with Marcel Brands' performance this summer because, you know, we apparently was putting on the table £30 million for Diaz plus James Rodriguez for Porto. And when you look at it like that, where have Everton got that £30 million from? And if they did have £30 million, why haven't they gone and signed Denzel Dumfries, who were they linked with all summer? Why haven't they gone and signed a right back? Because even you guys will know that a 33-year-old Seamus Coleman and a 24-year-old John Joe Kenny, who isn't good enough in the Premier League, is not good enough for Everton Football Club.
No.
But that's been an area Everton have needed to strengthen now for the last 4 years, and we haven't. And that is, in my opinion, down to Marcel Brands, and that is a fundamental failure against him. However, I think a lot of people are very quick to just go, oh, let's go and sack people. So for me, I'm not happy with Brands. But I appreciate he walked into an absolute shit show as well. Seamus Coleman's our captain. And as you say, Rafa is the right manager to get results with the team that he's got now. It's going to be very interesting, and I know you'll touch on it in a minute, so I'm not going to overcook this. Be very interesting to see what happens with James Rodriguez now, because he has stayed at Everton, and I don't think many Everton fans expected that. And how does he fit into a Rafa Benitez high-energy, high-press team? That could be interesting.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that though. The first thing is, you know, obviously we saw that clip where, you know, obviously Rodriguez gets asked who Everton are playing at the weekend, and he pretends that he doesn't know. You know, I think that's definitely a downfall, not getting rid of him in a way. But you know, it's interesting in it because he's one hell of a player, but maybe doesn't see what Rafa wants. So it appears that he didn't perhaps. You know, him and Rafa didn't have the best of relationships from previous times either. Is there going to be a way, for me, a big question's got to be, is there going to be a way for him to come back into the team? Was he just going to be one that's going to eat a massive wage bill? And like, you know, could that have been one you could have just gone in the end when it was looking like you weren't going to sell him? Could you just got him off the loan, you know, sent him out on loan somewhere? I mean, it's one of them as well. One thing I would say with Everton that you perhaps could have done more is obviously you've got FFP this year. Other clubs have got around that by doing loans with options or obligations to buy the next year. You know, you've definitely not done any of that this season. So I think there's definitely some room for improvement at the same time. And obviously, as you say, that right back, you know, Dumfries, PSV, wasn't it? He's at. You wonder if a club like that, there, you know, you promise them 20 million next year, 25 million next year. You know, currently a player that's getting talked about playing well. You did a nice loan with an obligation to buy. You get him in this year. Hopefully he works out. And, you know, you've got yourself that right back, haven't you?
And that's the thing, you know, with Dumfries. What was frustrating was he was there. He was available. We were hotly spoke about it. He had a really good Euros, I thought. He scored a couple of goals for Holland. And you know, he ends up signing to Inter Milan. because of the money that Lukaku, obviously Chelsea got, etc. And you obviously don't blame him for going to Inter Milan, but Everton had scouted this kid for months, yet couldn't put a deal together of any type. Something doesn't quite add up in the right back department for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't get it.
You could have done a structured deal as well. I mean, obviously you won't want to pay the type of money Arsenal did for Nicolas Pepe, but they've paid it over 5 years. Liverpool are paying us for Jota over 4 years. Why couldn't you have done that over a 2-3 year period?
I would have approached. I mean, a player that I don't think gets look, and Wolves fans will know more than me, but I think it's Vinagre. I'm sure he's your second choice right back, isn't he?
Left back. He would have been sent him out on loan.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. Everton could have looked at clubs. I'm not saying Wolves are any worse than Everton, but looked at options that those clubs have. Like for example, Aston Villa, a Leeds. Who have they got of their second choices who could have just potentially just done a job this season for Everton, just as extra cover, just to play a few games, has that Premier League experience? It didn't necessarily have to be, this is our right back.
Can I throw a name out at you, Mike?
Of course you can.
I don't rate him personally, but he's been in the league a long time. Hector Bellerin has gone to Real Betis. Would you not take him on a season loan?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because I can imagine a lot of people are going to be pro Seamus here, so it's very difficult. Him. I love Coleman. I absolutely love Coleman, but he isn't good enough at the top level now. And he started this season really well.
Yes.
But he'll have games where he plays really well for 3 or 4 games, and he comes off just because he's going to be 33. His legs are going. I appreciate that, but there was nobody there to fill in that gap, and now that gap is going to be filled by John Joe Kenny, who, no disrespect, pulled no trees up at Celtic, no trees up at Schalke. This is a kid who, look, I'm not going to sit here and absolutely rip him a new arsehole, but he's simply not good enough for a side that have European ambition. And
do you think if Coleman is out for a prolonged period, Rafa might go to a 3 at the back and have a wing backs of maybe a Townsend or something? I don't know.
He'll have to. That's exactly what will happen. I think you'll find Andros Townsend playing in a right wing back position. I think you'll see Luke. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I think Townsend can do that job. Ben Godfrey can play right back. Mason Holgate can play right back. There's no major concerns from me on that. It's just I wanted a right back.
Yeah,
you shared something on Twitter today, didn't you, Scott? Looking at the players that are able to be signed now in terms of out of contract. Serge Aurier is on there. I'm not his biggest fan, but there are players on there. But again, it's for the now, the here and now, isn't it? Is what you need.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but I was looking into. I've seen a couple of people also saying the problem with these free agents is the Premier League registration actually closes when the transfer window does. So maybe Premier League clubs won't be able to sign these, and even if they do, they won't be able to play until January, apart from cup competitions.
There needs to be spaces, if I'm not mistaken. There needs to be a space in the squad list so they can be added to the squad list, the 25-man squad list. Right. It's something like that. It's a really weird rule, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. But look, I mean,
what would you give him a window out of 10 right now?
I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6 because I think we've added depth. I think we've added 2 leaders in Solomon Rondon and Andros Townsend. I think we've added a little bit of flair into Mari Gray and goals. Clearly, he scored 2 in the first 3 games. And I think we've added experience in the goalkeeping department in Asmir Begovic. I think it's been a decent window. But I think there's no doubt letting Niels and Konku go out as our second choice left back, leaving us with 1 left back, and having Seamus Coleman as our only real right back, because John Joe Kenny isn't a footballer, is a real stumbling block, which means we don't get higher. But
are there any concerns about the middle of the park with Everton? Obviously, you've got James Rodriguez. We don't know what's going to happen. All this nonsense going on with Sigurdsson as well. It's 2 key players in a team where I don't know if you've got that much depth there.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, Sigurdsson scored 7 or 8 goals last season, and was our penalty taker. And James Rodriguez was involved in 11 goal contributions, either assists or goals, in 23 games last season. So that's almost 50% of every game he played. He created a goal or scored a goal. So it is a blow. However, look, Sigurdsson, I won't go into too much, but we obviously hear the rumours and we suspect we know what has happened, but it looks like he won't play for Everton again. And James Rodriguez, as you rightly say, it's going to be very interesting to see what James Everton get, because although he hasn't necessarily, I would say, been disruptive, I wouldn't say he's been disruptive. He appears to be training okay. Yuri Mina's put a picture out today. He looks fine. He looks happy. I don't know how much his heart is in it. And
he reminds me of Ozil, one of them happy-go-lucky. If you put him on the pitch, he'll play and he'll give you something. But I don't see him busting a gut coming into training an hour early or knocking on the gaffer's door saying, put me in the team. I don't think many players do that nowadays anyway, don't get me wrong. But
yeah.
I wonder how much of his interest went when Ancelotti went as well, don't you? That's the other problem. Obviously, I don't think him and Rafa had a great experience together. I think when Rafa was at Real Madrid either, which is obviously...
It's quite funny actually, just to correct people on that, because I thought exactly the same as you there, Scotty boy. But
here we go, I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, because I would say every single fan I know thinks James Rodriguez and Rafa Benitez don't get on. I'm in the same camp as you. But I read today that James Rodriguez's second best season in a Real Madrid shirt, which was a decent season, was under Rafa Benitez.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because you see the reports that apparently they've got a pretty sour relationship. You've also seen reports saying that as soon as Rafa came into the club, but he kind of said James Rodriguez wasn't his man. You just wonder, was there something that perhaps happened later on in that season, or it's an interesting one. Maybe they can just bury the hatchet.
I think James has just nailed it. I think maybe Rafa just or James, depending on which one of them, just needs to take it.
Yeah. Well, James is a good-looking guy, so I think if Rafa gets behind him, if you know what I mean, I think he can.
Absolutely.
You see what I did?
Come to a compromise.
This is the cutting edge reporting you get from Sweet and Sour Soccer. If you don't know, you fucking should.
Yeah, fucking hell. You're a disgrace if you haven't subscribed to this already. I mean, for fuck's sake. 17 minutes in, I needed you to pause the video and go and subscribe.
If you like jokes about Benitez shagging his own players, hit that sub button.
It's all right. It's nothing that James and Scott don't do together. Anyway, so that's where Everton are in terms of the transfer window, I think. I know that we wasn't necessarily going to talk about this, but I'd quite like to. I think it'd be nice to talk in general about the transfer window. Obviously, you guys, Wolves fans, we've got some other teams who we're very close to. Brilliant. He's gone. He's gone. West Ham, I think, had a good window. I was just going to say, who do you think's had the best window and who do you think's had the worst window?
Worsters. If Everton fans...
Not Liverpool.
No.
Liverpool have done nothing.
We've done less for nothing. We've got less of a squad. We had one attacking midfielder who was sent out on loan. We've not signed... I know you guys hate the fact that you haven't signed a right back in how many years? We've done the exact same with a centre back, except all we do.
We haven't signed. If we don't sign a centre back in January, it means we haven't signed a centre back in 4 seasons. Other Premier League clubs look at Wolves and still have that perception of Chinese owners smashed the Championship, gave Matinho 100 grand a week and Neves in the Championship. Those days are gone. Our owners are frauds. Honestly, we had a small squad anyway. We've got less players now than when we started the window.
And we didn't have a big squad anyway. I mean, there's people calling for our owners to sell up and get out. So that's when you've had a bad window. And Yeah, Mike, you picked the wrong day for us to talk about.
I'm fuming.
I love it. Come on, keep it going.
It's going to have a 2-hour stream now of us just ranting about our owners.
Do you know who our technical director is? A man called Scott Sellers. I mean, just God help us. This is a guy that was it Scott? Was he the coach or head of the under-21s, or just a coach? Yeah. That's all he was. And now he's got controls of a club that was in Europe 2 years. Oh, fuck, man.
So basically, if any Everton fans feel their window is bad, just look at ours. To be fair,
do you know how many midfielders
we signed a centre-back from Colombia, 4.5 million, and he's a red card waiting to happen. But, that's positive.
In the entire squad, have a guess how many midfielders we've got?
6.
3.
What?
3. Honestly, we'll name them. Well, you can probably name them, actually.
Neves, Martinho. I'm missing someone blatantly obvious, am I?
Just Dendoncker.
His name's similar to
Dendoncker, yeah.
Name another. It's impossible. That is genuinely our midfield for this season. So got 3 players. One of them's 34.
And the other one's an absolute clown of a player in Dendoncker.
Not Neves. Neves legend, but yeah. Let's talk about other clubs. Let's talk about.
Wait there. I haven't finished with Wolves. Wait, because I want to ask you a couple of questions about the Manchester United game as well. To be honest, because I really want to draw out them emotions today. People can really buy into the people that we've got working on our channel with us, and you were robbed. You were absolutely robbed by Manchester United. But the fact of the matter is, you equally couldn't put the ball in the bloody net.
I mean, firstly, we weren't robbed by United. We were robbed by the corruption of the Premier League and VAR, and it's got to come to hit Everton at some point where you'll be playing. You know what? It'll probably hit you in the Merseyside derby of all the games.
Loads of times.
I think the doubt has been
beating Liverpool. You'll be beating Liverpool, and then all the corruption in the league will go, well, this doesn't suit our narrative. Let's go VAR penalty to Liverpool,
and a red card.
And a red card, yeah.
I think what's happened with that United game is whether you're, because I get annoyed by it. I'm not just being a salty Wolves fan. I was so angry when Xhaka got sent off at the weekend for not touching the player. Is it dangerous? Well, everything's dangerous when you jump in when you take a shot. It's dangerous. You know what I mean? You could hit someone or whatever.
Especially you're shooting.
So yeah. Oh God, I just. But the problem is, this is the incident with Pogba. Like, it's just squashed any doubts that you can't argue now that VAR isn't corrupt. And we spoke about it last year in our. Funnily enough, it was against Liverpool where they did us over. Yeah, I don't think you can argue that it's not corrupt. That's the problem. I'm slowly, genuinely falling out of love with the game. Do you know what? Don't subscribe to Sweet and Sour because I'll probably be done with it.
That's it. If you want to be manically depressed by next Saturday, please subscribe to Sweet and Sour.
I'm kind of glad there's an international break, and I hate international football.
What I was going to say, look, and I'm going to give you some positives here. So, look, Adama Traore, he showed that he can rip a team apart with sheer ease. He passes the ball over to the right-hand side to, I'm guessing he's your new right winger, or I don't know his name, but Trincao.
Yeah.
He looks a real player. He looks a real player. He should have scored. I mean, you should have been 3-0 up after 20 minutes, in my opinion, with how good you cut Man United apart. De Gea was fantastic. He got man of the match, rightly so. But are you concerned that you're not scoring goals? And equally, do you wish you'd have bought in a striker as a result? Jimenez, are you worried?
Mike, we've got 3 midfielders. What are you talking about strikers for?
So you are only fussed about, right, we need a centre back and probably need 2 or 3 midfielders, not
be honest, one. I would have took anyone yesterday if they told us that we were signing
Tom Davies.
If they told us we were signing Rondon, I would have celebrated that like United fans celebrated the Ronaldo transfer.
If Solomon Rondon came to the Molineux, I'm not saying he would have accepted it, but I would have offered him to put his Venezuelan meat all over my face, because that's how desperate we are.
Absolutely superb. It's absolutely splendid. Oh,
we had him away from Everton.
Can we not talk about other clubs? Can we talk about Arsenal?
Let's talk about Arsenal. Let's talk about their transfer window. £155 million they spent, and if anything, if you look at the players that they've got rid of over the years and replace them with these players, so Emi Martinez was allowed to join Aston Villa 18 months ago, whatever it was, for £20 million. They've now gone and got a second goalkeeper in Ramsdale for £30 million, a player that, by the way, every single first season he has signed for a team, they have got relegated. So that is superb. Then they've gone and bought in a right back that was genuinely described, and I don't really watch Sky Sports because they did my head in yesterday. It was all Mbappe, Ronaldo. It was horrendous. But all they spoke about was when they spoke about this new right back, they said, I don't know if he's a right midfielder, a right back, or a centre back, because he doesn't fit either of any of those positions. So they've let Hector Bellerin go, who has Premier League experience at the very least, whether he's shit or not. They've let him go to bring this guy in. That could be a bad move. Then, obviously, they've gone and bought Odegaard, who, no disrespect, but he pulled up no trees whatsoever last season. And they've bought in Ben White, who, look, I'm not going to say Ben White's a bad defender. I think he's a very good defender, but I think there's certain systems that fit Ben White, and I don't think Arsenal's does fit Ben White. So therefore, what the fuck are they doing? Because £150 million is a lot of money to literally shit down the toilet.
Do you know what's odd? It's just so weird, because I'm not going to pretend I watch the German league every week or the French league or whatever, but I'm seeing some of these names coming through the Arsenal doors for 20 million, 18 million, 27 million pounds. And I'm going, who the fuck's this? Who's this? I have to research them. Listen, that doesn't mean they're a bad player. Like I said, I don't watch every league in Europe, but it just seems like whether it's Edu on the board at Arsenal or Josh Kroenke somehow thinks he's a football guru now who gets involved in stuff. Arteta is about as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike. I don't know. I genuinely believe Arsenal could be a Newcastle, or no disrespect, an Everton or a Leeds. Not as in League One Leeds, but just a mid-table. I think they could be anywhere from 8th to 14th.
Genuinely, and I'm not saying this to trigger any Arsenal fans, but I genuinely could see Arsenal finishing between about 12th and 16th this season. I think they are absolutely shit, and I think if Lacazette, it looks like his heart's, he's leaving at the end of the season.
Well, you know what's happened to Lacazette, don't you?
No, I was going to say, it looks like his heart's not in it, but something else might be in Odegaard.
Yeah, I have heard this.
Explain to the people at home, Mike, what's happening with Lacazette and Odegaard.
Well, when two people love each other.
In the training facility.
It's absolutely super.
They are the gift that keeps on giving, aren't they? They really are.
It's like watching footballers' wives over and over again. You'll all.
Do you remember Dream Team? Do you remember Dream Team?
Outrageous, yeah, of course.
Just Arsenal, isn't it?
I can't wait, because Arsenal have got Amazon in this season, haven't they? Doing the.
You can't make it up, can you?
It's absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to watch that. I'm like, literally, that's going to be the most anticipated Amazon program since The Farm.
That'll break records. That will break records. Oh, yeah. Jeff Bezos will buy another spaceship after that.
Oh, it's brilliant. He'll probably buy Arsenal. Keep it coming, lads. Literally. Look, I think Arsenal are in a real mess. Not real mess.
Definitely. I think if they get rid of Arteta, I think they've still got a squad that could be good enough for the top 7.
I thought this. I put them 5th in my season predictions.
I nearly put them 4th.
Because I thought no European football. They kept Aubameyang and people like that, and I thought maybe they'll kick on. I do like the look of Smith Rowe. I'd love to take Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
He'll turn into an Aaron Ramsey. He just won't gain any of his potential being at Arsenal. You look around that dressing room and you just think, I mean, anything that Arsenal touch at the moment, Vieira's going to send Palace down. I'm guaranteed that.
Brilliant. There you go. Right, let's talk about another club that I wanted to mention just to end this video. West Ham. I think I personally think, where people say they've won the transfer window and all of this rubbish. I don't necessarily know if West Ham have won the transfer window, but I certainly think they're up there. I think they've had a very good window. I thought yesterday was very good. Alex Craig, Nikola Vlasic, on top of some good, astute signings beforehand. They finished 6th last season. I'm not necessarily saying they're going to finish 4th or 5th or 6th this season, but David Moyes has done a good job with the recruitment there because he's been allowed to take the reins by the looks of it, and they've not utilised the director of football. They've just allowed David Moyes to do what he needs to do, and they've done a good job. Do you think?
Yeah, I think there could be a shout for the, potentially if they keep everyone fit, there could be an outside shout for even the top 4. I don't think they'll quite reach that, but I think they'll be the best of the rest, outside of that, what you would call the typical scrap. I think they could even finish above Leicester this year. I think, again, have had an absolutely fantastic transfer window. But, yeah, Leicester, they just seem to have their groove back, especially, I think the break of not having the fans, I think, has suddenly made Olympic Park go from this, this hated stadium by the Hammers fans to suddenly being a bit, I'm sure they described it a bit like...
Don't you dare finish this sentence after the video that we recorded last week that hasn't gone out yet.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I did completely slate the Olympic Park and said it's not a football stadium. It isn't. But if there's one set of fans that could make it one, it's West Ham, which they're
starting to grow into it, aren't they? They're really starting to like the Olympic Stadium. What I like about West Ham as well, I don't know if it's just me that's noticed this, but it's a bit like Wolves when we first came up into the Premier League. We were so scared, especially after we stayed up and finished 7th. We thought, well, that's Raul gone to United because they were sniffing around. Neves is gone. Cody's gone. Martinho's gone. If you look at West Ham, name me 2 or 3 of their big stars that have been linked heavily. I'm not talking about these stupid Twitter pages that have got
just Declan Rice. It's only ever Declan Rice. It hasn't really
been massive, has it? A few little bits from United here or Chelsea, but Antonio, Souček, Aaron Creswell, Soufal, Dawson, their players don't seem to get linked, which I think just settles a squad. I don't know how they do it, but yeah,
now looks to be an absolute baller as well. I remember when he moved to the Premier League, I thought, what a signing by West Ham. He had a pretty bang average first season, but he's suddenly coming back into it. Obviously, Benrahma as well. Yeah, I definitely think they're the best of the rest, to be honest, And
they haven't even got Lingard.
Do you think you could finish above them, Mike?
I think 11 v 11. I think Everton have a stronger first 11, but they have a lot. Only just. I'm not putting loads into that. But I think if Everton get 1 or 2 injuries, Everton go from a team that I think can challenge the top 6 to literally 14th.
Would you take 7th this year with that stupid conference? Is that a step up for you?
I'd take anything above 12th. And I'm not saying that because I don't think Everton have a good side. I think look if I go through Everton's team, I tell you what, you've got one answer now. One word. All I want is a number from 4 to 8 to 12 to 16 to 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Even you 3 can remember that. 2 can remember. Fucking hell, I can't even count.
You did well there.
So what we're saying is the player either goes into a top 4 team, top 8 team, top 12 team, top 16 team, top 20 team, i.e. they're relegated. Okay? You ready? Okay. Jordan Pickford.
Top 12.
Top 8.
Okay. Luca Dean.
Top 8.
Top Probably top
There's too
4,
much of a
you know.
gap. Can we do top 4 and 6?
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. So Luca Dean.
Yeah, top 6 then.
Luca Dean, yeah, I can see him at like a City or someone. Yeah, he's a good player.
Okay. Ben Godfrey.
Top 8.
10.
Fucking hell, you haven't watched enough of Ben Godfrey, but I'll let you have it. But you haven't watched enough of Ben Godfrey. Telling you now, lads, Ben Godfrey is the next Rio Ferdinand. Serious.
Really? I know he's been decent, but I wouldn't put him that high.
Can we clip that? Can we get that clipped?
Clip it, stick it all over Twitter. Yuri Mina.
No, top 14. I'm not his biggest fan.
Really? I like Mina. I'd say probably top 8 again.
He's a red card waiting to happen. He's a romance size. I think he's easily replaceable. That's what I should say. I think he's easily replaceable.
Okay. Mason Holgate.
Top 10?
Top 20.
Okay. So
I don't rate Holgate.
Michael Keane.
Top 16.
Yeah, probably top 12.
Yeah, okay. Seamus Coleman.
No, he's the only Everton right back I've ever known. I love this guy. Like, he's been in every fantasy Premier League team I've ever had. Like, I can't give him a bad rating because he's getting old now.
But you've got to, because we've got to go with where Everton are now.
Actually, no, top 16 in it, really, him. Now.
Top 4.
Fuck it. He's on something. But then we move forward. Alan.
I like that. I think he's a top 8 player.
Yeah, top 8. I agree with that.
Takore.
Top 6, definitely. Maybe top 4, yeah, he's a machine.
Okay. James Rodriguez.
Undecided. Top 10. About top 8. Top 8 at least. I don't know with Rodriguez, actually. He's a bit inconsistent at times.
I'll go top 8, yeah. It depends on the manager.
Okay. Richarlison.
Top 4.
Top 4, yeah.
Calvert-Lewin.
Top 6.
Before this transfer window, top 4, but now top 6 because there's just so many good strikers in the Premier League, isn't there?
Okay. Damari Gray. It's a bit early to tell. I appreciate, but
I'd say top 10.
Okay.
Yeah, about that. On early form.
Yeah. Okay. I would say if Everton played some form of 4-3-3, I'd say that would kind of be the team. I would say the majority of the players there you've put about 8.
Yeah, about a top 8 average there, isn't there? Apart from your right back, which everyone knows anyway.
So I think you've got Everton and West Ham fighting for the same 2 positions, 7th and 8th. So I think that is it. I think if Everton have a good season, I think they can finish 6th. If they have a bad one, they finish 10th. And I
think West Ham finish above Leicester this season, potentially.
Do you know what? I do agree. But I do think Leicester's going to be interesting this season because the fact they haven't broke the top 4 for 2 years running and bottled it 2 years running, I just wonder if they're going to have a stinker, if you get what I mean.
This is what I'm thinking. And I know they signed...
A stinker for Leicester's 10th from 5th.
Lookman's a good signing, though, isn't it? Got
Lookman on the final. I don't know, I've put them to finish 6th, and we played them, and they were not convincing against us at all. Although we lost 1-0, we should have beat them. But yeah, I don't know with Leicester. I think they'll finish between 5th and 8th. I really do.
Xhaka looks a good player too, and he's just going to take some time to come in. He's going to be the Vardy replacement. So I don't know. I still think Leicester will do business this year.
Yeah, fair enough. I think there's an interesting battle between 5th and 10th this season, and there's only potentially 2 or 3 European spots in that numbers.
I'm not having this Leeds talk, by the way. I know we're not even talking about them, but fuck Leeds. I'm sick of all this nonsense of the Godfather Bielsa. Fuck shit.
Brilliant.
Conceded 8 goals in 3 games, but he's the Godfather of football. He's got a gold medal from the Olympics.
So obviously I'm really close to Connor from One Leeds. Just been nominated for the FCA, so make sure you go and like his channel and you subscribe and all that shit. He's really concerned, genuinely really concerned. He thinks Leeds defensively are all over the place. He can't see the same energy that they had last season. he likes the addition of Dan James. I think it's fair to say, but he's concerned about the link up between Harrison, Rafinha. They still, I mean, Paddy Bamford. Look, I won't slag off Bamford. I think he's a very decent striker. But if you struggling to get the ball to him, I think you could have some issues. And
they've done well to keep a lot of players, though. I can't believe they've kept Rafinha. That's a crazy.
I think Leeds are going to finish 14th this season. If I was to give you a number now, 14th.
I don't want to come across like I'm copying you, so I'll go 15th, Mike.
I actually think Wolves will finish 15th. I think you'll have quite a bad season this season. No disrespect to you.
Well, I said that before. We said this before the season started. After our performances, I do think we'll be about 11th, 12th. No,
I think you literally, if you can get that link between all the creativity and scoring goals.
Raul just needs one goal.
I still think he'll walk. I do. He was promised all these. Our manager was promised all these things, and he's not going to give them. I honestly think he might.
What you on about? What's this?
Bruno was told, our new manager, Bruno Lage, he was promised 3 to 4 of his signings this summer. Now, I mean, you could argue that they've signed 2 of them in Trincao and that Chan that we've just signed on loan. But yeah, he won't walk because he's going to earn too much money, and this is a really good platform for him to sell himself. But if he walked, our manager, I'd have so much respect for him.
Yeah, mate. I think if he stays, we'll probably finish mid-table. But if he goes, we're down.
Really, blimey! I really don't. There's a lot of clubs this season that seem to be almost going. I mean, Newcastle. I mean, obviously Kendall's another fan of the channel, and obviously go over and subscribe to her as well. But she was saying that she's really concerned. Obviously, they've still got Steve Bruce. There doesn't seem to be a plan. The player, it's there's a lot of teams. I seem to no, I don't know. I seem to think that a lot of teams are in a bit of a mess this season. Obviously, COVID's not helped.
I agree. What's the situation with Norwich? Just before we started recording this, I saw a Norwich fan moaning about their window, saying it's the worst in the league. Have they not signed a single player or 1 or 2 loans?
They've spent £60 million at Norwich
this summer. Because I haven't followed them, I'll be honest. On who?
I'm sure I read that Norwich have spent 60 million. Norwich 21, 22.
Every Norwich
signings.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this now.
You've got to remember, though. They'd lost Buendia very early.
Yeah, they lost Buendia to Villa, but I don't remember them making. There's a lot of other. Are any of them like?
Right, here you go. Here's the signings that they've made.
Are any of them loans from last year that they had to make this year, though?
A lot of them are just like £10 million players, basically. 5 million players.
Mila Rashica, 10 million. Christos Tazales, 10 million. Josh Sargent, 8.5 mil. Ben Gibson, 8.4 mil. Demetrius Jananos, 6.75 mil. Angus Gunn, 5.27 million. Brendan, did they get Brandon Williams from Man United as well, left back? Get him on loan.
They want a loan, yeah.
Billy Gilmore. Kabat, yeah. I mean, I certainly don't think they've had. I don't think they've had as bad a window as they,
I don't know.
Look, irrespective of who Norwich signed, they could have signed Ronaldo on his own. They're still going down. Like they're fucked. They're fucked. They are born to go like this, yo, up and down.
Who's your bottom 3?
My bottom 3, as of right now.
No, next week.
Brilliant, dickhead. Let me just have a little cheeky look at the Premier League table.
Yeah, well,
it's going to read off the bottom 3.
Nah, hang on. All right, here we go. I'm going Norwich, Watford, Brentford.
The 3 promoted?
Yeah.
Brentford haven't lost a game yet.
Nor did Wolves. Oh, nor did Norwich when they first come up the season before. They ended up finishing bottom, so
Yeah,
means
true.
nothing. Timo Pukki, if you remember, they got a 3-3 draw with Chelsea. They beat someone on the first game of the season, then they ended up finishing bottom.
They beat
Don't
City 2-1 at home, didn't they?
Do you remember? Yeah, do you remember? Yeah, do you remember?
And then they went on like
Timo Pukki looked like striker of the year for 2 games.
It went downhill.
Yeah, he cost a lot of people a lot of fantasy points at
Norwich, Watford, Brentford. What about you two? Who do you think? We'll go with James first.
Yeah, Norwich. I would have said Burnley, but they've made a few signings really late.
He's desperate to get Palace in there, isn't he? He's desperate to get them in.
Of course. Yeah, Palace, Norwich. I'm going to go Leeds just to piss them off.
Brilliant. Come on, Scott. Fucking hell, we're sitting there.
Palace depends. If they sack Vieira before Christmas, they'll stay up. If they don't, Palace are down.
Why do you not rate Vieira? Like, what am I missing here?
Clown. He's done.
That's the reason to rate him. He failed in the US and France. If you're failing in France and I can't even make a soccer joke. Fuck's sake.
Brilliant. So go on then, Palace.
So Palace are down if they don't sack Vieira probably in the next before Christmas. I'm going to go with Norwich, but that's an obvious one. Do you know what? I'm still going to throw Burnley under it. I think Burnley are down.
Sean Dyche, man, he knows what he's doing. I just think
I don't think. You see, I think with a midfield of Elise, Eze when he's back, Zaha, they've just signed Edouard. I mean, Vieira could be the worst manager in the league, and I still think they scrape 17th.
Vieira could have a front three of Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe, and still would finish mid-table in the Prem. The guy's a joke, and that's what it depends on. If they get rid of Vieira, they'll do all right. If he's
just another
down.
He's just another Frank de Boer, isn't he?
Okay. Although Frank de Boer went 7 games without a win, and Vieira's already won 1, I think. But we won't hold you to that, lads. I will not hold that against you.
Yeah, but when he loses the next 12 in a row, who's laughing then?
It's a fair record. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Lads, look, as always, it's been a pleasure. We're going to end it there. I know we've sort of gone off topic a little bit, but I think it's always good to have a little bit of a review of the Premier League as well, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what we like to do.
It's really nice, actually, to spend so much time, James, looking at that shirt.
Do you want to do it up for you?
No? Open it. I'm joking, don't fucking do that, no. Jesus Christ. Be demonetised, be fucking gone. That's it. Child endangerment strike. There you go. I feel like KSI.
Listen, like I told you when your wife was flirting with me off camera before we started, this shirt cost me the equivalent of like £3. So who's laughing now? And if I do
sold it, yeah.
But I brought it off a market off someone with one eye. It doesn't matter. But
equally, I can buy a shirt from a market in England for £3. It's called a boot sale. I'll probably get one for 50p.
Yeah, but this is a special fabric. So when I get fat and I can't wear it anymore, it's that weird fabric where you could use it to like wash a car. So who's laughing?
Oh, splendid. Absolutely superb. And Scott, me and you will just stick to our next T-shirts, mate.
Yeah, pretty much a standard grey. Literally every T-shirt I have is grey. I think it looks like I only have one T-shirt for.
It's weird, and the problem is because you're diabetic and you've got like a real pale, weird-looking, gormy face. Anyway, when you wear grey, it looks like you're about to die any moment, like a relapse or something. It's weird.
You missed our conversation on our last stream, Mike. We were talking about who would take over if I have a diabetic attack and die.
This is it because now.
Did you see the fact that I physically just tilted my head to look at literally not you, but I've just done it to look at you? Like what?
So we have a feature now on our Wolves match reactions every week where we test Scott's blood sugars live. Scott, should we do it now for the fans at home?
Yeah, why not? Let's. Mike's got a bigger audience. Let's introduce them.
It's like Iron Man, but Iron Man had it in the middle of his chest.
I can safely say, right, yeah, this is how I'm going to prove to you how active my audience are. Right now, I will put money on it that no one is watching after 50 minutes. I'll put money on it. And if anyone in the comments is watching at 50 minutes, I will buy you a raffle ticket to the next raffle that we run on the Blue Boys Network.
Well, you've got to set them something. So if you're watching still right now, comment the number 342.
Why don't they comment the number that my blood sugars are? Bit of a nice little quiz.
Because this is also a public information centre. So if you're diabetic and you're watching this, look at Scott.
Yeah. Brilliant. So modern day
do it. Come on, do it. We've got to go.
Thing. I scan it like that.
What's your sugar?
You can never tell what they are because it blanks it out. But
what number is it?
Look, 6.8. There we go.
6.8. No, it's meant to be 8.
6.8. That's good. That's supposed to be between 4 and 10. And that has been our diabetic summary of the week.
I thought he was going to poke himself with one of them stick things.
No, it's an app.
He only does that when he gets really, really
that thing in my arm, scan it, tells me what my sugars are.
It's fucking clever, that is. I might have one of them fitted.
You'd want it there, though, wouldn't you, in the middle of your chest?
Yeah,
like Iron Man. That's what it would be. I'd get it on my knob.
Sadly, it doesn't work.
But it's not used, so it's fine. Don't fucking matter. No matter where you have it, mate. No one's fucking touching it. Right, we're leaving it there. We're 52 minutes into a 30-minute video. It's fucking splendid. James, Scott, as always, it's been a pleasure. As I say, there's no one watching, so look, if I say subscribe to the channel, no one cares at this point because they don't care. If you are watching, 6.8 in the comments, and I will buy you a raffle ticket. So if there's any more than 10 of you, I'm fucked, quite frankly. Guys, peace. See you soon. Up the toffees. Ta-ra.
Take care.